Good evening and welcome to Cumbernauld Unlocked. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Elaine Lennon. I am a singer-songwriter and I am coming to you live from my home studio in Cumbernauld. You're going to love tonight. We have a superb lineup. It really is an evening of celebration of the people within our community. We've got some community news, we've got some live call-ins from some grassroots groups and organisations that have been making our lives so much easier during lockdown. They've been operating throughout the community, throughout the time that we have been in lockdown, to bring us outstanding services to our doorsteps. And you know, it's great to just take this opportunity to have a chat with those people and help them share their stories behind what they have been doing. So as part of that, we're going to be speaking to Nicole Pettigrew, who founded Cumbernauld COVID-19 support group. So we're going to have Nicole on. We're also going to have Sharon McNally, who is the founder of Shakespeare's Kids. And we're going to actually hear from some of those kids, which I'm really excited to check out. And we'll have some live entertainment from my good self. I might pop in a few little songs here and there. And we'll also be joined by the wonderful Angela Trainer, who is a local author. And she's going to be reading some excerpts from her book called Love Never Dies. Now, some of you might already know Angela because, similar to myself, she did a TEDx Cumbernauld Women Talk back in December 5th. And just such an amazing person. I can't wait to introduce all of these people to you. But the actual session tonight is being brought to you by Firewalker Films. And the producer from that and the founder of Firewalker Films is Maureen Hasquette, who also brought us TEDx Cumbernauld Women Bold and Brilliant back in December. So very, very grateful to Maureen for pulling all of this together. Okay, we've got some other people we need to thank, because some of the same people that brought us TEDx Cumbernauld are also bringing us sound and all the different engineering products that you're going to see tonight. So massive thank you to Automating Productions, Matt Kennedy, big shout out to you, and Toby of course on sound, and also to Community Development Officer Anthony Morrow at the Sanctuary Group, and not to forget Shazia Riaz at the Cora Foundation, because without you guys we wouldn't be able to do this tonight, so thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to kick us off tonight with a little bit of music. And I was chatting with the guests just before we came on today, and we were talking about a number of different things, but one is the fact that I now love joggy bottoms. I don't know if anybody else out there is the same as me, but I've been kind of eating a little bit more than I probably should have during lockdown. And I'm finding that my jeans just don't fit me anymore. And so when I was thinking about the first song to put out tonight, there's one song called Trouble, which is also the first single from my debut album, which I released at Celtic Connections this year. But it's called Trouble, and it's a cheating song. But the only thing that I've really ever cheated on in my life has been a diet. So I thought pretty timely and quite fitting to start off with this song. So this is called Trouble. I'm in trouble. Yes, I am. I'm in trouble 'cause love was not in my plan. Temptation is my fast train to hell. Temptation keeps ringing my bell. Oh, temptation, the train just left the station. I jumped on board, this is not gonna end well. I'm in trouble, oh yes I am. I'm in trouble, love was not my plan. And now I'm in trouble, call for help quick on a double. Heart's in trouble again. lifeboat. Desire pushed me overboard. Oh, desire set the lifeboats on fire, left me to drown, no sign of shore. I'm in trouble, oh yes I am. I'm in trouble, love was not in my plan. And now I'm in trouble, call for help quick on a double. Heart's in trouble. Oh, and train is slowing down, got my heart in a spin. Gonna have to swim through this mess desire got me in. I'm in trouble, yes I am. I'm in trouble, love was not in my plan. Oh, I'm in trouble, call for help quick on a double. Heart's in trouble. Oh, I'm in trouble, call for help quick on a double. 'Cause that trouble just took me by the hand. So I guess you know that instead of love got me in trouble, it was chocolate. It's all chocolate's fault. So I hope you like that. I'll be singing another 3 songs throughout the evening, including the one that was my TEDx talk was based all around. So that will be coming up later on. Little Bird, Little Sailor, that one's called. But what I would like to do right now is introduce our first guest, which is Nicole Pettigrew, and she is coming to us live from Cumbernauld, and she is the founder of Cumbernauld COVID-19 support group. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm okay, thank you. I loved your song, that was brilliant.
Good. Thank you. Yeah, you were one of the ones that were talking about not getting back into those pre-lockdown jeans.
Yeah, yes, I've been having a lot of chocolate and crisps recently.
I don't think you're alone there. So, Cumbernauld COVID-19 support group, first of all, well done and hats off to you. It's great to be part of a community like this. But tell us a bit more about the support group that you've been setting up.
So, we set it up back around the beginning of March. At the time, it was just kind of intended to be a support group for people just online where people could come and give each other ideas of things that they could do, recipes, cakes they could make, different things like that, things to keep the kids entertained. And as it grew, we just kind of kept developing it as whatever it needed to be. So it's just kind of developed as the months have gone on. It started off just somewhere for people to post some inspirational things to keep people's spirits up, and now it's sitting at over 10,000 members. We've got funding in place. It's mad. I don't know what happened. We've got the funding in place. We've got volunteer groups for all the different areas in Cumbernauld. They are doing people shopping for them, doing dog walking. We've got stationery that was given to us from Cumbernauld Academy, and we're able to go out and give out to families that need it. We're making craft sets up for people. There's just loads of things going on.
It's brilliant. And what was it that initially inspired you to set up what has become such an amazing tool for so many of us in our community? What inspired you to kick it off in the first place?
I think what it was before lockdown had actually happened, I had went round the elderly people in the street and put a wee post through the door just with my name and number, and I was like, if you need anything, if you're not able to get out, just get in touch with me. And then I thought, there's so
Brilliant.
many other people out there who don't have that. I've got my granny, she lives herself. My granda, he lives himself. My best friend was pregnant at the time, she's had her baby now, but she was pregnant at the time. Like, just people that are in the vulnerable categories, and I was thinking they're so lucky that they have people around them that can help them with whatever they need, if they needed someone to go to the
Yeah.
shops for them or whatever. But it was just a worry about the people that don't have that, that didn't have that. I thought, well, why not set up a group and we'll try and reach as many people as possible in the community.
And I know every single one of those people who have benefited from what you set up must really genuinely appreciate it. And my goodness, 10,000 people. So, how well has it been received in the community overall? Have people been getting in touch with you to say, you know, thanks for setting it up? How's it been received out there?
Really good. There's been people who have said they've never really felt much of a community spirit in Cumbernauld before, and it's maybe making them feel like that. There's people who have only recently moved to Cumbernauld who have said they can't believe they've moved somewhere where there's so many people who are there to help. Um, there's people who get in touch and say that they're on the page for their mum or dad or their gran or granddad that live in Cumbernauld, and it's nice to know that we're here if anyone
Oh,
needs it. There's the occasional negative thing, but you're always that. It's just you look at all the
isn't that a
members on the
shame?
group, and I know you look at all the members in the group, and you just think there's a million times more positivity than there is negativity. So it's just trying to keep
Oh.
that in mind.
Well, do you know what? Hats
Mhm.
off to you. I know there will be so many people out there appreciating it. And you're right, it is all about community, and it's those small acts of kindness that really
Mhm.
show the best in people and bring out the best in any
Definitely.
community. So thank you for, you know, being somebody who's instigated that and allowed other people to share their acts of kindness in one grouped place. So well done.
Thank you.
You know, we were also chatting a little bit about something else that's come out of the support group that supports people in a
Mhm.
different way. And obviously, from a musical perspective, this had me more interested. But we were talking about singing, and in particular, my experience with karaoke and the fact that I'm a singer-songwriter as opposed to somebody who sings karaoke for the only reason that I'm not very good at it. And I was recounting a story from a New York trip years ago, and it was my one and only time when I have sung karaoke, and I didn't realise how seriously the New York folks take karaoke. So I went with I'd had a few wee cocktails, let's say, first, and I thought, oh, I can sing Duffy Mercy, only to find out that when I got up there, I only knew the chorus. And I wasn't really that good at the chorus either. So yeah, that was my one and only time at karaoke, and they took it so seriously. There was guys there wanting to sing Men in Black, and they actually, you know, they dress up and everything. So yeah, once bitten. But you have a particular karaoke story of your own. It's not personal, but she is very much related to you. Would you like to share that with us?
Yeah. Yeah, my granny, she's the karaoke queen. She loves karaoke, she loves to sing. And at the start of all this, when I had just set the group up, I was thinking different things that we could do just to kind of keep people's spirits up. And I'd suggested to my granny, oh, what about going on Facebook Live and doing a wee karaoke for people? And
Yeah.
that was before lockdown had begun, so it was maybe 2 weeks before. I don't even know how long lockdown's been on for now. I've lost all track of time.
Feels
But
like
she has went
forever.
on. It feels like forever. She has went on Facebook Live every single night since, and she's singing her karaoke, and then she posts it onto the group, and it just keeps people's spirits up.
Fabulous.
She does different songs every night, and I was working it out earlier, and she must have done at least 70 live Facebook shows now, and she goes on for about a couple hours
Wow.
every time. Yeah.
We never ask the age. We never ask the age of Granny, but I'm assuming she's a wee bit older than me. My goodness! Now, where can we actually, if you do want to listen in, what is her name, and where can we find these karaoke's? Because this is what it's all about. Music in any element will connect us and bring us together. So we want to know about your karaoke Granny.
Yeah, it's Anna Pettigrew on Facebook. You can add her, I'm sure she'll accept you. But she posts it live onto the Cumbernauld COVID group as well. Every night
Brilliant,
around about nine
brilliant.
o'clock.
Wow, she's a karaoke machine. I'm definitely going to tune in. So, the last question that I had for you was what traditions or what different behaviours that have come out of COVID would you see yourself taking on and continuing after the lockdown has been lifted? And I'm assuming your gran will be taking her karaoke tradition. But is there anything that you have started doing that you think you might carry on after
Um,
the lockdown?
I think just having the Facebook group there, with it having over 10,000 members, I don't really know exactly what we're going to do after this, but it would be silly not to try and expand it and just change it as we need to as things go on. So
Yep.
have it there as a support group even after this is finished, and maybe just kind of keep the community spirit going. There's people that like I'll speak to people on the phone every week who were helping getting their shopping and things. It's mostly elderly people who don't have other people in Cumbernauld, family near them or anything. So even just
Oh,
things like that, I'll be making sure I keep in touch with these people just to check up on them. And I'm sure there's loads of people that have been connected through this that will be able to. I feel like it's just really connected people a lot more. Um,
yeah.
I think
There's
like
going to be so many
just making
people.
sure that everyone, yeah, just you just stay connected, like phoning and checking up people, and I think there's a lot of positive things that are going to come from it.
It's mad because we're in a situation just now where there's very limited human contact, but
Hmm.
moving forward, we're going to be promoting that human contact within the community as well, and whatever the
Yep.
new way it is, whether it be still leaving shopping at the doorstep. But thank you for
Hmm.
setting this up, and thank you to all of the different members of the group that are out
Yeah.
there helping our community. Really appreciate it. And thank you for joining us tonight and for sharing
Thanks for
your
having me.
story and your karaoke grand too.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure. Continue with all this amazing work and thank you very much. Nicole
Thank
Pettigrew.
you.
Thank you. Oh wow, it's just so heartwarming for me to see how the community has pulled together. There's so many more groups similar to COVID-19 that have also been created during and because of the lockdown, and we see we know that you're out there and we appreciate you. We can't have everybody on obviously, but thank you very much for all of that work. There is one area that we would like to shine a light on, in particular one person called Frances Parks, and in particular the Carbrain and Hillcrest Community Council. Frances herself has almost made it her mission over the last couple of years to really lift that stigma around poverty in our area. She's been doing so many things like cooking classes, cooking groups in the community. She even cooked Christmas dinner for those that would otherwise have been left in isolation, which is just phenomenal. She's set up women's groups, largely supporting mental health issues. And she's also set up a swap shop where you can bring good conditions clothes, DVDs, books, and donate them and even perhaps pick up some new ones while you're there. So definitely an inspirational person. But during the pandemic, when the pandemic hit, Frances started taking referrals from people who she would cook for, and she would take it to their door, and it's had the backing of Carbrain and Hillcrest Community Council, which is essential. This kind of backing is essential and very, very much appreciated. But she's now covering any area in Cumbernauld that needs help. So hats off to Frances. And the wonderful producer of this show and also the TEDx Cumbernauld show from back in December, Maureen Hasquet, she has been following over the past few weeks the Carbrain Community Council and Frances, and she has created a little documentary to give you guys an insight into all of the amazing work that they're doing. So please enjoy this little documentary footage.
interludes. So people that are basically self-isolating, not getting out or don't have anybody that can get out for them, or are on low incomes at the moment because of the situation. So we'll, in most cases with the elderly, we're doing the cooked meals from the fair share stuff we're getting, and we're also buying produce in to make meals as well. But also as part of that package, some people might get, you know, groceries for the week as well.
And so who are your volunteers? How do you get your volunteers?
Well, the bulk of volunteers originated from the community council. As we started to get more cases in, we really realised that we needed more volunteers. So we made a call out to one of our other groups in Cumbernauld, the Cumbernauld COVID-19 group, to see if they'd put a post for volunteers, and we got quite a few people coming in through that. So I think we're up to about 15 to 20 volunteers, all organised by our very own Francis, who is just arriving as we speak.
Over 200 meals in there for Friday and Saturday. That's not 200 people, it's families and individuals, but there's also 25 meals going to the mental health team at the Central Health Centre. They get that twice a week for their patients and community.
Wow.
So it's very humbling, yeah. I've got 3 other referrals, 3 drivers and a walker then. I'll put these ones in. So that's, some of them get extra food bags as well as the cooked meals.
So what's in the what sort of cooked meals do you have, Frances? What's in the bags?
Well, we cook 4 times a week now, so it's cooked. It can be out today's going chicken biryani, chilli, 2 types of soup, spaghetti bolognese, macaroni cheese, macaroni cheese and sausage hot pot. So there's a various depending ages and things of people, so we try and sort of gauge it to the people we're giving the food out to. So these are their children.
Yeah.
So for 7 in a family, for the weekend they'll get 14 meals.
Wow.
Plus if they need dried food.
Yeah.
So they get 2 meals each for Friday, Saturday, and then they'll get another delivery on Tuesday.
Amazing.
So yeah.
And so do you find it's mostly families that you cater for?
Yeah. Families, single parents. We've got about half a dozen pensioners who get regular. Yeah, but I mean we go from maybe Hill to Eastfield, so it's not just within Brain.
Yeah. Amazing.
It's all over, and it's getting more.
Yeah. Why do you volunteer?
Because I think it's important to help other people where you can. I'm still young, I'm in good health, so in such difficult time like that, it's responsibility of everyone to first help themselves and then help other people who are in need. For example, other people who can't actually go out for shopping, who are much more how do you say, vulnerable. So yeah, that's why.
Deliver out later on. Friday. Was it?
Stick with peppers and onions and all that in there, and there's plum tomatoes and everything in it. So with all the spices you want, you blend it in just a thick curry paste. So then you can add even if you don't even add more tomatoes, you can just add like chicken stock to it or something to thin it up, and it'll double in size.
Wow.
So it's great.
Get more and more feathers time. And we're just now, things are actually getting worse now.
Really?
Getting better because we're now getting referrals for people to be supported. How implement emergency gas. They're not putting the gas on at night, because they're using up the funds for what they've used this so it's so 10 o'clock at night and I'm still finding people contacts for emergency services. See, what we do is we don't just put out food, we cater for individuals as well, don't we? So we've got, like, ask when people phone, ask if they have dietary issues, is there anything in particular do or don't like? So we've got a couple of older, you know, pensionary older people in their 80s. You've got to be careful. There's no point in putting them in curries and chilies. Not saying they don't like them, but ask them, of course, they say they don't. Can their chicken chopped up? You know, so can it slice because they maybe get visual impairment or maybe get this, you know, so all these things we cater for, which is actually really, really nice to know that we are making a difference. Not just to their diet, but also to them enjoying it and knowing that they're able to eat it.
People will struggle after this.
Yeah.
I think it'll take a long time for anything to get back to normal, so yeah, we'll definitely still be, you know.
Yeah.
We'll be here for as long as we need us to put it that way. That's the good thing about it. Helps keep my sanity this time.
Because they seen us when we were doing that. Well, 24 hours ago, I was coming to the garage to collect some of the things that are here that we have for cooking. Some of the tins with fresh fruit, got meat fruit salads, things like that. But the door had been forced open, and when I got into the garage, our trolley our walking trolley, our pallet trolley, has obviously been loaded up with stuff that they wanted to take, and they went through our foods and stuff, taking the trolley with their donations of food, and including the dried, including the fresh fruit. So and most of the donations that we've been receiving are from people that we are supporting already in the community. And out with we're now reaching out to nearly 500 people a week, 500 meals a week.
It's amazing.
From here to Eastfield, Aben Hill, Westfield, Kindoret, Village, we're covering virtually every area in Cumbernauld now.
Yeah.
So when this appeal has went out, the majority of the people that have responded to our appeal are the ones that we're already supporting. So that has been, you know, or people that we're supporting that know people that want to donate.
Right.
So that has been a hugely, hugely humbling, absolutely. That then has just turned it round to say, do you know what, this is what it really is about.
Yeah.
You know, this is it. You know?
Totally.
And as you know, we've ended up actually with more than what was stolen. You know, by the time we collected all the donations from people. So, you know, and obviously thanks to Sanctuary Housing in the first place for giving us the garage to support us with our community project, and within minutes they were here repairing it for us as well. So that's been a great help to everybody here. The money that we got from Cora and the Scottish Government for the community funding was for the cooked meals side of it. But as we were cooking the meals and taking them to the families, we were realising that the kids were needing the usual, especially autistic. We support families with autism, and they were requiring specific diets, specific things, and we were starting to provide that. And the noodles and things, the dry noodles is their extra wee bit that they get in amongst the cooked food. So we thought, well, there's also a niche in the market for specific food parcels, not just the basics of the norm of what goes in. So that's where the food parcel side of it came in, and that's where we rely on the donations, because the funding is the cooking side and some of the dried food side. But the food parcels now between Tesco's and the community has just now taken off, and I'm just absolutely blown away with the last 24 hours of the community engagement, and just, you know, my tears have went from tears of anger to tears of mindless thanks.
Wow, wow, that's all I can say. Wow, what an amazing team led by Francis and backed by Carbrain and Hillcrest Council. The job that you guys are doing is phenomenal. What really captured me from that video was the personal touch, you know, the individualising of the food packages. It's very from the heart, and I'm so proud to have folks like you in our community, and thank you for that. The documentary was taken by Maureen Hasquet. You will notice the lovely, beautiful French accent singing in there. It's because Maureen is originally from France, and she moved to Cumbernauld about a year ago, and already she is making so much change in bringing together particularly the females within our community, and really empowering and inspiring us to be the best that we can be. I mentioned earlier, part of that was the TEDx Cumbernauld Bold and Brilliant Women that Maureen really instigated last year in December. And I had the honour of participating in that and speaking in that. And I was one of a few local and further afield guests that came on and did a TEDx talk. And now we have our ability to share our stories on that global TED.com platform. So if you want to see any of the videos, either my own talk or that of Angela Trainer who's coming up, and all of the other inspirational women, you can see it online in the TEDx Cumbernauld Women YouTube channel, or go on to TED.com and put in Cumbernauld Women, and you can enjoy all of the different inspiring stories. My particular talk was based around the lyrics of one of my songs, and just watching that video, the song is called Little Bird, Little Sailor, but watching that video, it reminded me of the reason why I wrote this song in the first place, and it was really to inspire my children to follow their little voices, follow their dreams and find their place in the world, and not to let fear stop them from doing that. So when you listen to the lyrics, you'll understand what I mean by that. But watching that video, if you're one of those people out there that want to help, that want to do something else, but you're frightened about getting in touch or getting out there and being able to help, hopefully this little song will be speaking to you. It's called Little Bird, Little Sailor. Little bird, there's a big world out there to be found. Got your wings already, but your feet won't leave the ground. Don't let your fear of falling stop you taking to your sky. Once you learn to fall with grace, then you'll truly fly. What will be, will be. What will be, will be. So breathe in, breathe out, lose the doubt, have some faith and believe. And what will be, will be. Little sailor storms are brewing, deep desire for something more. Got your boat already, but it just won't leave the shore. You know, staring at the water ain't gonna get you across your sea. In your boat, safe and port, is not where you're meant to be. No, no. What will be, will be. What will be, will be. So breathe in, breathe out, lose the doubt, have some faith and believe. So just enjoy the wind beneath you, have some fun jumping the waves. Little bird, little sailor, time to see of what you are made. Whoa, what will be, will be. What will be, will be. So breathe in, breathe out, lose the doubt, have some faith and believe. And what will be, will be. What will be, will be. So breathe in, breathe out, and don't take yourself so seriously. Breathe in, breathe out, and don't take yourself so seriously. So that was called Little Bird, Little Sailor, and that is also on my debut album, which is available on all digital platforms if you want to go and have a wee listen to that. Now, talking about live performance, our next guest is a lady called Sharon McNally, and she does very special work in our area with our children under Shakespeare's Kids, and I have the honour of bringing her on just now, and we can have a wee chat to find out exactly how her role in the community has changed, and to find out more about what she's doing with Shakespeare's Kids. So welcome, Sharon, it's lovely to have you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you, Elaine. It's so lovely to be invited along.
Brilliant. And do you know what, it's such a good way for us to find out as well what is going on in our community that perhaps we hadn't known before. So yes, it's one of those things that you know, there's so much going on that we can find out more about, so thank you very much. So tell us a little bit more about Shakespeare's Kids. What is it all about for those of you out there that don't know about it so far?
Well, Shakespeare's Kids changes all the time. I mean, it's very, very hard for even me to keep up with what we're doing. But basically it's set out as a project where we hope to get children more involved, believe it or not, in telling stories and bringing stories to life in any way they felt, you know, suitable. So it did start off as short children's films following, you know, the drama classes that we established. So for the first couple of years it was short films that we produced with the children, and then we got involved with older children that had maybe come to us from high school, and they were more keen to take the productions that we'd been looking at onto the stage, which for me was quite terrifying. I think when you're doing a short film, if you make a mistake, you can fix it. You know, as Maureen will know, and you can get it quite perfect. Putting children on the stage to me was quite terrifying, but we get completely hooked. And for me, the most important thing is not about the sort of quality of the show or how fantastically talented the child is. It's about giving every single little child the chance to be up on that stage with a mic and performing and having fun, and showing the talent that they've got, you know, because every single child's got something to bring, so it's making them just feel special, and that's why we're a little bit different from most theatre groups in the respect that every single child that comes to us is given a part in all of our productions, and, you know, given that chance on the stage.
Brilliant.
So it's fantastic.
It really is an amazing thing to be able to nurture and build a child's confidence, and these are life skills. This is not just, what you do is not just about getting children to sing or perform, it's about getting them to find their own voice and their own confidence. And you know, again, working with children, hats off to you, it's not easy. I had the privilege of working with 40 local school children at Christmas time, just before Christmas, and we wrote a Christmas song together, and we really took it from the songwriting process, the backstage, where it all kicks off from, looking at the lyrics and the music, the melody, and then taking it to recording studio, getting a CD created, and then getting some of those children onto the radio, on Celtic Music Radio's Nicky Lyle's show, to talk about it and have it aired. And what you guys do is very similar. It starts at the beginning. You look at the different careers as well that children could potentially come out of acting and being in the arts. Can you talk a little bit more about that in particular?
Yes, obviously when we very first started, the group that I worked with were only maybe your sort of 7 to 10-year-olds initially, but in the last couple of years, obviously we've expanded that a great deal. And what I'm most proud of is that we've linked up with Cumbernauld College recently. So over the last 2 years, we've had about 18 of our older children have all graduated from Cumbernauld College, and some of these children are only
Well
13,
done.
14. Oh, it's been incredible, absolutely incredible. So they've all graduated with Community Achievement Awards, which is really quite special. And now I'm seeing them progress to actually go and study with Cumbernauld College. So I've got students that are performing and studying acting and performance, musical theatre. I've got more kids moving on to college this year. I've got a young gentleman who's just completed his first book. Another child.
Wow, well done.
Another gentleman who, Callum, is very, very talented in many different ways, who has designed his own ball gowns and dresses. So the children have got so many talents that they're exploring, so it's not just...
and it must be the way, you obviously have a way with children, that there's certain special people in this world that just are able to connect with kids at all levels, and that engagement that you have built up in person and face-to-face in these groups, how has the lockdown impacted that engagement that you're having with the kids?
Well, I think for us, we were never just a drama group to begin with. We were always a huge big family, so we always kept in touch out with class anyway. We're the type of group that maybe goes to the cinema together or spends time together out with the drama class. So we were used to keeping in touch through social media, and we're very, very closely connected to the parents. But with the younger group, we had to set up the Zoom chats, and we were trying to be sort of creative. So with our project being, it's a child-led project, so they were very much involved in putting the project together. So the Zoom chats are actually hosted each week by different young children, which is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious and a lot of fun. So we've been running those in place of our normal classes, and we also did the Kids at Home Challenge, which is on the YouTube channel, where the children got to send in videos of them performing in any way they chose, but they could send me in videos, and we ran a little competition and put all of those together on the YouTube channel, and we could vote for our favourite or most original act. So
that's on Shakespeare, sorry to interrupt you, that's on Shakespeare's Kids YouTube channel, if anybody does want to go and see that, yeah?
There's a lot, I think there's about 500 videos on there of the children, and all of the productions and films are on there as well.
Excellent, excellent. It's an amazing job, and for these children to feel part of something like that, it must be such an amazing feeling. And talking about the kids and how they are feeling in general, how are they coping? And from what you've gauged from just chatting in the Zoom calls, how are they coping with the lockdown in general, do you think?
Well, we asked them that, and we were pleased to hear we've put together a little something special for you. Some of the children have sent in video clips of exactly what they've been up to over the last few weeks, and they're really quite something. They're quite special. So we've got that for you to have a little look at as well, Elaine.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Yep. If we
Hi, my name's Caden Murphy and I'm 10-year-old and I'm part of Shakespeare's Kids drama group.
Hi, my name's Neve and I'm almost 13. I'm part of the Shakespeare's Kids drama group.
Hi, my name's Alicia, and something that has positively surprised me about this lockdown is how well everyone has stayed indoors and followed all the rules.
Not going mad, because I thought by now we'd all be walking about with soup cans on our heads.
It's me for lockdown is that how much stuff you can do in a day, because normally it's the same thing every single week.
I did end up finding out I still do like doing art after not doing it for quite a while.
I was very surprised about how much we got to spend time together, as we were always with each other during these hard times. It's actually really surprised me that me and my family have actually been like doing some quiz nights every Sunday, and everybody gets a turn to do some quizzes. What has positively surprised me is that I'm able to stay in touch with family a lot more as far as Canada and New Zealand. I'm able to stay in touch with my friends, but not as much as at school.
And I'm happy that everyone's going to the front door or in their car, clapping for the NHS, or if they're in their car, honking their horn.
What surprised me about lockdown with the relationships in my neighbourhood is that everybody goes out and does the clap for carers every week.
Me and my neighbours have actually been clapping for carers every Thursday.
For the NHS
For
and
the
key
NHS.
workers as well, eh?
Yeah. Together is where we belong. We're all in this together.
I have learned how to play Snakes and Ladders for the first time with my granny and Jackie. So either we've got the board and she's got a dice, or she's got the board and we've got the dice. And that's really fun too.
And also Shakespeare's kids have been doing Zoom meetings, and actually hosted one of the meetings, so that was really fun.
I've learned loads of things. I've been learning how to play my ukulele, how to do some dot art work, how to make a bird feeder, how to make art out of things around us and nature, how to bake a delicious chocolate cake, that round I think, and how to cook.
So I have learned a hidden talent, which is actually going on my bike and going over ramps, and I've really enjoyed that.
Well, me and Emily have learned how to cook, and we make roast chicken on a Sunday, and we've learned how to, we've planted vegetables we've planted vegetables, herbs and flowers, and I call my gran a lot, and so she can teach me how to knit and use my sewing machine.
I've been drawing and I've been really enjoying it, and I'll show you some of my drawings right now. So I've learned that I've been able to work independently in a kitchen, and if I was to cook something, like for example cookies that I've been baking, brownies, I would like hand them out to neighbours that just need something to cheer them up, kind of.
In quarantine, I learned how to ride my bike, which is super fun, and it's something I always wanted to achieve. So yeah, I can do it now. And in quarantine, I've been doing some drawings, and I did this like tackle one and this panda one. During lockdown, I have taught my little sister how to bake fairy cakes and helped her with all her Rainbows challenges.
And I've also learned how to moonwalk.
And I've been singing, dancing, doing drama, things like that, because I find that super fun.
And I've also learned how to side flip.
And I wrote like a poem, which I'm writing lots of poems, which is also fun. It's just something that I enjoy. And after lockdown, the first thing I'm going to do is see all my friends and hopefully get back to our normal SK classes.
Together, 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 everyone. Together, together, come on, let's have some fun. Together, 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 every time. Together, together, come on, let's do this right.
I'm going to the first time when we start back at school, gonna go give my friends a big hug.
I really enjoyed it, actually, because we've got to watch Doctor Who together and been baking and cooking all together, so it's been very enjoyable.
Wow.
Wow, well done riding that bike. Oh, so many cookies getting made. That roast chicken dinner sounded amazing. I wish I could dance like some of those kids. The moonwalk is something I've never been able to master. Wow, children are just so resilient. Do you find that your group, you know, the resilience that comes through? I've got two little ones that are 6 and 9, and they have just adapted so well. Is that what comes out for you most? What are you most proud of your children and Shakespeare's kids for?
They have been absolutely amazing. I mean, all of my children they're so talented, but they're just the loveliest group of kids. And I think what I've always been most proud of, and it still is, you know, the thing that I'm most proud of during the lockdown, is the relationship the children have with each other. You know, we're very much a group where our teenagers tutor and look after our younger children. So, you know, and they all work together. So even if we have a children's group, maybe age 5 to 7, they're taught by the older group along with myself. So there's a really relationship there. So, you know, during the lockdown when we've had these Zoom chats, you've had the little ones hosting it and the older ones performing for them. And there's so much love and respect between the different age groups, and just so much support. And that's always been
so much energy as well.
It's amazing, but you never really get teenagers
so much energy
around. Yeah, there's a lot of love there and a lot of support.
But
and they're quite,
you know, there's obviously a lot of love for you as well. And before I ask what's next for Shakespeare's Kids, I wanted to share something that Maureen Haskell, the producer of this show, shared with me, and I'm literally going to just read it because it's in Maureen's words. And she says, when she, as in Sharon, had the kids perform at our town centre for the Christmas lights switch on this year, I met a mum whose 8-year-old daughter is a selective mute. She only talks to her parents and her siblings, but neither the school or her extended family had ever heard her speak. And she started with Shakespeare's Kids, and I, as in Maureen, saw her belt out Aladdin songs to 10 complete strangers, including the song ironically called Speechless. And her mum said she had managed to wish a happy Christmas to her cousins out loud for the first time. And she says a lot of that is down to you. Wow.
Elaine, that's so lovely, but that's quite emotional as well. But really, it's just believing in the children, I think, and not pushing them, you know, letting them kind of come along in their own right, you know, when they're ready. And as I said, it's all of our seniors. Our seniors are all there to give them a hug, to tell them how wonderful they are, to support them. And I think when a child comes into a room and they've got, you know, a whole group there that just, you know, is telling them how wonderful they are and just supporting them and encouraging them, you know, they just feel so safe, and that's when they're ready to just, you know, perform. And what I've probably loved as well in the lockdown is little tiny children who obviously I'd never asked to sing individually unless they come to me, but they've been sending me little videos of them singing in their living room, age 4 and 5, that they would never have, you know, the courage just yet. They will in a couple of months, but they'd never have the courage just yet.
Hopefully, yeah.
Oh gosh. In a year's time they'll be up on that stage right at the front, you know, by their choice.
Absolutely. And you know,
they're amazing. Sending me little clips just to show me what they can do, so that when I go back, you know, they get to be right at the front, and you know, it's lovely. But it is.
And when you do go back, what will that look like? What are your next steps for Shakespeare's Kids?
Well, I think it's important that we give the children, you know, the same kind of opportunities as before, but we might have to look at it in a slightly different way. So maybe smaller classes, which is where I started, and actually that's something really quite special because they get a little bit more attention. You know, sometimes when the group grew so huge, and we had maybe 40-50 kids in a room together at one time, you know, it's a little bit more difficult to give them that one-to-one attention, which I absolutely love. So having some time maybe to just work with smaller groups. Something very exciting is the fact that obviously we've got the new theatre opening at some point hopefully this year. and this will be the time. You know, it's Elaine. It's honestly, it's been a dream for me that we would have a base for the children in a theatre. You know, a home for the.
So that's the new Cumbernauld Theatre that you're talking about. That's one that's been backed by Creative Scotland as well. It's a massive and really important project for our community.
Absolutely. I mean, in the past, the old Cumbernauld Theatre couldn't accommodate Shakespeare's kids because it grew so quickly and we had so many children. And it's grown bigger than I could ever have imagined. So the opportunity of working with the new theatre is so exciting. I know the children are thrilled about this. And I believe it has a film studio as well. So, you know, I'm hoping maybe
it's good. Film theatres.
And get more involved.
Absolutely.
As well, which would be fantastic. So combining, you know, filmmaking with the live productions. So it's all very, very exciting.
Why not? All we need are ideas and good people to make them happen, and that's what we're all about. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on and for all the amazing work that you do with children through Shakespeare's Kids. And I'm excited to see what the next steps are. And I'm definitely going to go onto YouTube and check out all of our amazingly talented children's videos. So thank you once again for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
We would love to have you along to class and let the children hear that amazing voice.
Done. Done already. You don't have to ask me twice. Brilliant. Thank you again. Take care and stay safe.
You too. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you. That was Sharon McNally from Shakespeare's Kids. Now, keeping our children entertained through lockdown, and I say this from personal experience as the homeschooling mum of 2 little kids just now, keeping them entertained and giving them a variety has been challenging. It's been good fun. But the other day, there was tooting going on outside our window. There's a road that runs next to our house, and cars were tooting away, and we looked out the window and there was a stormtrooper walking up our street. So, of course, that was the chat for the next hour or so. Where did the stormtrooper come from? Where's the spaceship? Where are all the rest? Oh, the kids absolutely loved it. Now, we didn't know at that point that the stormtrooper is actually the stormtrooper of Abernhill, who is also known, when he is not dressed up in full regalia, as Norrie Tate. And he's one of many adults who have been putting on children's costumes, for example, the Paw Patrol, and visiting kids in their doors, walking randomly through the street so that they catch the eye of kids, and that's a little bit of diversion. It's amazing, and we're about to hear from Stephen Murray, who is presenter and station manager at Cumbernauld FM, and he's going to tell us a little bit about how this particular adventure started.
Hi there, my name's Stephen Murray. I'm the station coordinator at Cumbernauld FM. Cumbernauld FM is your local community radio station which broadcasts to Cumbernauld and the surrounding areas on the 106.8 FM frequency and online. During the COVID-19 lockdown, Cumbernauld FM has strived to keep people up to date and things happening within the community during the lockdown. Our presenters and live show team have ensured that we've been getting people on via call-in to discuss things that are happening and what local businesses are doing during the lockdown, as well as community groups. We've been in touch with organisations such as the local food bank, the local community councils, and they have called in and they give us an update on the facilities and the stuff that they are given at the moment during this lockdown, which has been fantastic. Also, in regards to the COVID-19 lockdown, Cumbernauld FM has also been a part of characters in the community. And how characters in the community started was my son's 4th birthday party a couple of weeks ago, and we wanted to make it special. Obviously, we were in lockdown, we can't go out, we can't do stuff like that. So the idea is to try and make it special for him. So I managed to speak to a friend of mine who owns their own entertainment business, and we managed to get one of the Paw Patrol characters, mascots, for a couple of days to surprise him on his birthday. So when it came, we obviously dressed up as a mascot, and we let him see Paw Patrol, and we know it really made them smile, really made them happy. And we put the photo up on Facebook, and a lot of people in the community saw it, and they were saying, "Oh, it'd be really good if people could visit so and so," and it kind of grew arms and legs from there. Really, from there, I decided to go out for the clap for the NHS on a Thursday night and just go around my local street and wave to all the kids at the windows and cheer them up. And from there, it was so big. Everybody was loving it. With people messaging saying, "Oh, could you do this again?" And from there, I wanted to kind of really make it happen. I wanted to continue doing it. It was a bit of a buzz for me. It was good seeing the kids smiling. So that's what we did, and we teamed up with our friends at Cumbernauld Community Council. They do a lot of amazing work during the lockdown in regards to helping people with food and essential supplies for their house. Well, we spoke to them, and they were happy to help us pay to rent the costume to continue doing it, and maybe even get a couple of additional costumes. So we did that, and we had Iggle Piggle from In the Night Garden, we had Marshall from Paw Patrol, and we had Goofy from Disney all out, and it was fantastic. So my idea was, right at the beginning, was I'd love to cover the whole of Cumbernauld. I'd love to just go all the way around Cumbernauld during the lockdown, and just to see as far as I can get and make as many kids smile. So in the space of a week, we managed to cover the whole of Cumbrain, which was a big start. The amount of amazing feedback we had, kids coming out and waving to us, and we managed to even give them a couple of sweets. We threw a couple of sweets at them so they could have sweets as well. And the kids were just absolutely loving it. It was actually quite, in a way, it was quite sad as well, because a lot of the houses in Cumbrain don't have a front garden or a back garden. So, I mean, I have a back garden and I've got a small kind of front area, but a lot of kids don't have that. And the only thing that they were really getting to do one day out of the whole lockdown was come out and wave to their favourite characters. So it was, the kids were so appreciative that, the smiles and the laughter and the waving and the social distancing photos that they got. They were absolutely loving it. It was really heartwarming. Every time a kid smiled, I felt like somebody was physically giving me £20. It was just so heartwarming to see the kids loving it so much. So we'd covered the whole of Cumbrain, and here's a couple of photos to show you of some of the kind of reactions that we got, not just from the kids, from some of the adults as well. So that was us on the first day, getting out and about, and somebody had taken this photo from their window, and they'd put it on social media, and we got so much response, and parents saying what a great job you are doing. The parents and the grown-ups have been so great with us, saying how great a job we've been, and being so supportive and helping us to fundraise as well to continue doing it. So that was the first photo that we took on our day out. It was taken from somebody's window. This was your local bin men who wanted to grab a quick photo, which you can understand. And I was going to say Iggle Piggle and Marshall are very much enjoying getting their photo taken as well. Some of the kids in Glenhove, kids absolutely loved it, and brilliant. They just loved the idea of seeing their favourite characters. Another photo there from Millcroft. One of the child's happy to see Marshall, and a couple more there from Glenhove. So as you can see, the amount of kind of positive response that we got, the amount of private messages that I've had saying what a fantastic job you are doing, and the people that have supported us through it, being physically in the mascots and being out and about and engaging with the kids, it's just been amazing. So I'd love to thank Cumbernauld Community Council for all of their support and making kind of my dream come true, really. We've had to currently stop providing this service at the moment. We can't afford to pay what the company are asking for us, but we have got a couple of options in place, and the idea is we're not giving up on it. We are hoping to get back out with the characters in the very, very near future. So keep an eye out on our page, for more updates on that, because it's really, really positive. It's really, really important as well for the kind of community to see somebody out smiling and making a bit of a difference, compared to normally just being stuck in the house. So a couple of wee pointers I wanted to say as well. During lockdown in the community, the neighbours, people around you have been fantastic. a lot of the older community in our area, they've had their door knocked and asked, do you need any help? Do you need anything brought in? Which has been really, really positive. During something so serious, the community have really, really pulled together, which is so heartwarming to see. So yeah, definitely the positive is the whole kind of teamwork, community work has been absolutely fantastic. I've learnt a lot through this lockdown. I've learnt a lot, and I think one of the most important things is that I've learnt is that people still need options, and you know, people still need to be able to have a bit of fun during it, and it's trying to keep things creative. And basically sharing tips, sharing ideas. If you're sitting in the house and you're bored and you've found something to do and you've got an idea how to take somebody else out of their boredom, it's just to do stuff like that. It's to communicate with people and try and keep the spirits high. I think during the whole lockdown, I would say that that's probably one of my most important things that I've learned is kind of communicating with people is really, really important, and kind of keeping people, you know, included in your life during it. So that's quite an important one. Having my community relationship you would like to hang on to afterwards. Yeah, that's another important one. After this, I would love to still kind of do this. I'd still love to provide a kind of community kids entertainment side of things, not just for birthdays or special occasions. It would be good that the kids could have somewhere they could go to that would be free, where they could get a bit of kids entertainment. They could be a bit of fun. You know, where everybody can be included. That's something I've always wanted to set up, and I will be looking to do that, is having a space where kids can, you know, very much be a part of the community and have a say in what happens, and also a place of play as well, where they can come, they can learn and they can play with others. So it's been a fantastic experience that yet again I can't thank people like Cumbernauld Crest Community Council enough, and all the people that have supported us through that. Thank you very much, and we hope to be back out with the characters soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephen. I think I'm going to definitely try and find a costume to go out next Thursday when we're clapping for the NHS and go around and bring a few smiles to different people. Now, that has just been so heartwarming to see everybody coming out and coming together as a community, and the amount of joy that you saw in those little kids' eyes. It's just phenomenal, brilliant, and I hope that they do get the funding to continue with that, and it is something that Stephen's able to continue on after the lockdown has ended. Now, moving on to our next guest, and the next topic really, Mental Health Week has been going on all week in the UK here, and this is the last day, this is the closing of UK Mental Health Week. And we've really been focusing on kindness to others, but also in kindness to ourselves, and to look after our own mental health, which has been challenging, and more challenging for some than others, especially if you have been affected by loss, whether it be COVID related or non-COVID related. During this lockdown period, it must be so difficult to deal with that, and it's especially when we feel in certain ways isolated in our grief as well. So Angela Traynor, who is our next guest, she is a local author who has been practising psychotherapist in Glasgow for the past 30 years, and she is the person who has set up Harvest Clinic in there. She's also a fellow TEDx talker, and I was just blown away with Angela's talk at TEDx. Not only that, the inspiration of her talk, but I had my keyboard with me, and after my talk, Angela came up and said, "Oh, let me help you with the keyboard, you know, how do you get this off the stage," and all the rest. And I didn't realise at that point she was just 2 weeks out of radiotherapy for breast cancer. Honestly, this woman just personally inspired me so much. It is my honour to bring on Angela to chat with us just now. Is Angela there? Is she able to join us? Hi Angela, how are you?
I'm very well, Elaine, all the better for seeing you and thoroughly enjoying, been listening in, been great.
Thank
doing
you.
Great.
You are looking phenomenal as well there, and I have in front of me a certain book that you wrote. It is called Love Never Dies, and you actually did put a lovely little message in there for me as well. Thank you, Angela. But Kay Adams, broadcaster, also is one of your fans, and she's put, Angela is absolutely right. Love never dies. My parents might not be here, but they are always with me. And this book is just full of ways to help you cope with the grieving process. Can you tell us a little bit, Angela, about the backstory of that book, Love Never Dies?
Yes. Back in June 2016, my father, Patrick, who's, why don't we give him a wee photo shoot while we're here? My father, Patrick, was, that's Dad and I together. There he is. Have I got it right? Very
Handsome
fit
bloke,
man,
handsome.
ran marathons, very dusty, ran marathons, golfed, cycled, incredibly fit man, thought he would go on forever as you do, was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and was basically told that, help interventions might give him an extra month or two, and he said, forget it, I've had a great life. I've had a wonderful life and I just want to go as naturally as best I can. Can you help me manage any discomfort? And he went on to have what by anybody's standards we would call a good death, if that doesn't sound too crazy. I was with him when he passed. I was singing to him, Smile Though Your Heart Is Breaking, as he'd simply stopped breathing. So there was a 6-week journey. A 6-month journey from June till he died at the end of that year, and it was a pretty amazing journey. So first time I had lost a parent, obviously, and I knew the benefits of therapeutic writing from my own work as a psychotherapist and working with groups and retreats, but the difference it made to my handling of what was going on round about me, for me to be able to really just pour my heart out on paper. We had a lot of, we had a lot of great times and a lot of great stories, but we had some really heartbreaking conversations too, because my father and I talked, and we both had a very close spiritual connection because he introduced me to meditation, and we had a lot of very frank conversations about life and death and what happens after, what happens next. So I wrote down my thoughts and my feelings. After he died, I found it very helpful for the grieving process, and I carried on writing. And I shared one or two wee bits of things I had written on my social media, just one or two wee bits. And the rest is history. People started coming on to me and saying, can I share this? My friend's just lost someone. Would it be okay if she friended you? And it grew and it grew and it grew.
Yeah.
And then people started to ask me if I had it in some kind of booklet. And eventually I thought, what if I pulled it into a booklet and I sold it? And we got the money for pancreatic cancer research, and that's what we did. So we ended up getting the book published professionally and getting it out there and raising money for cancer research at the same time.
Wow, it's hard enough to go through something like that, Angela, and to be able to share how you coped with it with other people in that form. You've probably touched the lives of people that you'll never meet. You'll never, it's a ripple effect, and it's one of those books. Thank you for writing it. Now we are going to hear a few excerpts from the book. Would you be willing to read them out for us so that we can hear the kind of messages that are in the book?
Okay, so I would say it's not a doom and gloom depressing book. There are parts in it that are actually quite funny, should have you crying tears of laughter. But I've chosen some bits that I think might be useful or relevant, so I'll put the goggles on and we'll find this wee bit on compassion. I always pause self-consciously before writing these posts, and I worry if I'm being too self-indulgent. Too much. I wonder if you're thinking, get over it, get on with it, spare me the details. But then I reread the comments and the private messages, sometimes from complete strangers, who've read a shared post saying that they've been helped or they've felt supported by my thoughts. And that spurs me on to risk the possibility of judgment or criticism. There's so many out there on a journey of grief, although their loved ones may already have passed long ago, or they're dealing with the grief of ageing parents, disabled children, miscarriage, failing relationships, family estrangements, medical diagnoses, redundancies, and all the challenges life throws at us. Life is suffering. We hit the stuck places, the emptiness. We walk headlong into unknown territory. Now, I've done my fair share of trying out the usual anaesthetics to see if I could find some respite. Denial, busyness, carbs, rosé wine, compulsive cleaning, clams, mindless TV. I even revisited my old pal from the past, Miss Silk Cut, at one point for a while to see if she could help me numb out. And some of these very temporarily shield the feeling of my nerves being worn on the outside of my skin, but not for long. And my broken heart, she waits for me in spite of my valiant efforts to hide. Embracing pain, sharing what hurts the most with someone that won't invade or abandon me, feels like standing on holy ground, said James Finlay, the writer. Me, I find the pearl of great price, the preciousness of my fragility in my brokenness. And I stumble upon compassion for all that's lost and broken in myself and in others. Richard Rohr calls it the naked now. When I show up, when I'm willing to experience the good, the bad, and the hellish, it transforms me. I can begin to say a quiet yes to all of it. We can say yes when we don't run away, we don't pretend, and we don't hide. Today, I plan to be here now. It may not last long, but with compassion for myself, I can start over again. What floats your boat? Julie Andrews knew. Do you know? She said, raindrops on roses and whiskers on kitten, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens. Sometimes we find ourselves beached, blown by the storms of life up onto the shore, and we need to take refuge there for a while until the storm blows itself out. But too often, we remain there, afraid or unsure of how to put out to sea and feel the wind in our sails carrying us forward to new horizons. I certainly experienced quite a lot of all washed up and grounded after the death of my father 9 months ago. And my job as a therapist is to support others who are washed ashore, stuck and unable to travel on. How do you refloat a boat? We need help, we need support, we need assistance, we need more power. We simply can't do it alone by brute force. We're left exhausted and frustrated. We have to ask for help. We have to reach out to others and get back in the water. We need to risk getting wet, jump in, grab the oars and start rowing. Get the sails up, find the direction of the wind and have a compass to direct us. Otherwise, we might find ourselves going backwards or getting grounded ashore again. Now, asking for help is tricky. because we have to make ourselves vulnerable when we admit we need help. And let's be honest, some folk will see it as a weakness and they'll try to take advantage. That's why we don't want to do it. But when we ask, we will always find some souls eventually who will come to our aid and help us, who will help us carry and push our boat back out to sea. Not all, but some. And that's enough. That's all we need, in fact. If you are feeling beached just now, ask yourself right now, who can help me put out to sea? Ask for support and assistance from those people. Are you helping you? Or are you sitting on the shoreline with your head in your hands? Do you have a compass? Do you have a map? A sense of direction, even if it's only to get off this dang beach? Do you have sustenance and fuel for the journey? That's good nutrition, air, rest and sleep, inspired reading and movement of the body. Are you ready to wait for the wave to carry you and take hold of the oars and row? Put your sails up again and let the winds of life and love carry you onto new places, new people, new experiences. Who do you want to take on the boat with you? Who do you need to leave behind? Bless them, standing on the shoreline with a goodbye wave. We need to reflect on and know what floats our boat, what and who sustains us, where we are and where we want to go. Or we may find ourselves all washed up, stuck and grounded, while our precious life passes by. And finally, the contemplative monk. It's been a deeply meaningful week. There have been so many courageous, trusting people I've had the honour to sit with in a therapy room. And outside of work, others who are soul friends are going through the grieving process too. For some, their loved ones passed years ago, but the loss is fresh and rekindled by an anniversary. Others are still in the cocoon of shock of a recent death. Some are side-blinded and shattered by a sudden stinging blow of grief which caught them unaware, just as I thought I was getting over it. It finally dawned on me, we always are. We are almost always just getting over a loss, the end of something, a leaving. It may not be a physical death, but always there is or has been something ending. And there may be a pause, just like in between breaths. Then something is incubating, and then something beginning. I read a beautiful article on grief recently. It said, it never leaves us. It never disappears and goes away. That's not what happens. It's that we grow as a result, and therefore it takes up less space of the whole of us in our expansion. I think it softens us if we allow that to happen. It expands our heart. To hold our pain and our gratitude in the same moment is to draw water out of the deep well of wisdom and compassion. So, if you're not actively in a state of loss or grieving at the moment, know that some around you will be. They won't always show it or tell you of their pain. They'll find a psychotherapist or a counsellor like me and sing their raw heart songs out in confidence and in private. But you can help with a little awareness and compassion. Reach out to the people in the hurting places and remind them that they're not alone.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Angela. Yeah, particularly, there's so many little gems out of all of those readings. But yeah, the one that stuck with me, not just because it was one of the last things that you mentioned there, but was being aware that other people are going through so much and in such a different way just now than potentially they have been until now. And from your perspective as a psychotherapist, grieving within lockdown in this kind of more isolated environment, how is there advice, or how have you felt that the grieving process has changed, and how can we help people cope with that?
Of course, people, my own neighbour, my own friend had to bury her mother. My own neighbour and friend had to bury her mother. I've known 3 or 4 people had to go through funerals at this time, not all necessarily coronavirus related. And of course, it's very, very isolated and lonely because of these tiny wee funerals and the no touch rule. Horrendous at a time when people need to be held. They need. So in one sense,
they really do.
In one sense, they will probably still be in shock, because I think we're all still in shock with what's happened, and I'm not so sure we'll thaw out of that until this is well behind us. I think we're still in military footing. When we think back to fighting for toilet rolls and, thinking that there wasn't going to be another tin of beans or half a dozen eggs left in the shops. And so this has been an incredibly lonely process. Now, the good side of that is it has really kind of forced people to face what's happened, because they've not been able to do a lot of the things that we often do. Like I mentioned, we run into cigarettes, alcohol, sugar, eating stuff in our faces, getting busy, hiding under the duvet. There'll be a limited amount of that going on for sure, but people have really very much been left to their own devices with their grief here, and that's where the rest of us can reach out as best we can. Whether that's, people often do this thing about at the funeral, they have the big thing and everybody says wonderful things, and then they go home and forget. So the real support that we can give is to make a commitment longer term to that card, that letter, that phone call, and remembering the anniversaries. I know it was a month ago your mum died. I know that must be 6 months now. Not assuming that, oh, well, you're over it now. It's a long time dead. So there's lots of things we can do. It's been incredibly difficult for people just now. Very, very, very difficult. And just give them a double hug when you can. And the other thing is, I think, if they don't and haven't thought about it, is I think there's a lot to be said for the beauty of memorial services, and to remind people that we can all hold our own memorial services in our own homes and gardens when this blows over. They don't have to cost a lot of money. You just need a group of people, some nice songs, poems, stories and music, and some nice cups of tea and buns, and you can get communities of people together. You don't have to have a priest or a rabbi or a minister there. We are all capable of running a memorial service for the people that have been lost. I think during this time,
for so many people, you've touched on it, and a good point, because a funeral should be a celebration of that person's life. So if it doesn't happen, or it can't happen just now in the same way, then a memorial service is something that in the future you can potentially hold, and really, as you say, talk about the happy times, talk about the laughs, and really honour and respect that person's life. One of my husband's best friend's mum passed a couple of days ago, and he's desperate to just go and give his best friend a hug, and it's finding ways that you can now start to attend funerals. I think that I've heard you could go in cars, just not actually go into the church or the crematorium or wherever it is that the funeral is being held. So we are starting to find ways, but you're right, it's the human touch that we can't just go and give the person a hug, but we can stay in contact, we can follow up with calls, and I think what I got from yours is the follow-up is key, from your reading there, the follow-up and giving people time to grieve. It won't disappear in a week or a month or a year, and don't expect it to. Everybody grieves in different ways at different times and different processes. And I think your book, what I love about it...
I've had people come and speak to me about the fact that, you know, it's 10 years since my mother died, it's 15 years since my brother died, it's 20 years since my granny died. And reading your book, I realised I'm still grieving. And there's a very interesting point there. And for me, that's, if you were given a jail sentence of a week, a month, a year, 10 years or 20 years, you know, what would be the harder time to serve? You know, of course you miss them more the longer time goes on. There's a myth that you get over it, you know, that you say, well, that's been 2 years now, you're over it, and 5 years, you're over it, 10 years. You're not in the same stages of distress and shock and, you know, your life's just been blown apart. But the missing, I call it the missing. The missing goes on over time, and that's to be celebrated. That's to be celebrated. That's not something we should be afraid of. And we must be allowed to talk about them. We must be allowed to continue that relationship. And in our culture, we don't make any bury things under and sweep it under the carpet, and don't upset yourself now thinking about that. You know, we need to have our people who live on the other side of the veil available to us in our lives.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that, and I know that it's going to help a multitude of people who are listening out here. Thanks for writing the book and for being so honest about everything. And your TEDx talk is another one that if anybody wants to go and listen to, it's almost life-changing. So you can go and see that on TED.com or else on YouTube, TEDx Cumbernauld Women. Thank you for being an amazing guest and for sharing that with us. Angela, it's been a pleasure. I will hopefully catch up with you again soon. Take care.
You too. Thanks.
Thank you so much to Angela. That was lovely. It is time for me to sing another song, and this one I hope is quite fitting in with what Angela's just been talking about, and I hope that it potentially gives you a little bit of comfort too. It's called You and Me. That was another of my original songs called You and Me. Now, mental health, as we know, is important at all times, but particularly at this time. We are very fortunate that the weather has been good, although it's been a little bit rainy the last few days, but we're still seeing people going out and going for their daily walk, their daily exercise. And in Cumbernauld, we're actually extremely fortunate because we have a 50% green space. Now, it is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, and Cumbernauld Living Landscape are going to talk us through the 50% of that green space that they look after in this short documentary. I hope you enjoy it.
Hi everyone, I'm Fiona McGreevy, Cumbernauld Living Landscape Project Manager. This is a programme that works to improve the green spaces across Cumbernauld for both people and wildlife. We're supporting young people to connect with nature, we're promoting green health and wellbeing, and working with communities and volunteers across the town to take action for nature. We're really proud to be working on this project, which is supported by partners and National Lottery players.
Hi, I'm Tracy from the Cumbernauld Living Landscape Project Officer for Young People. During lockdown, I'm going to be designing and delivering training for teachers for outdoor learning. We'll be setting up the activities on our website, cumbernaulдлivinglandscape.org, heading up the Instagram account at Wild Cumbernauld, and you can join us in a crochet along once a month. See you then.
Hi, I'm Paul Barclay, Green Health and Wellbeing Officer for Cumbernauld Living Landscape, running the Wellbeing as Well Mental Health Project. During lockdown, I've been producing a lot of online content to try and help people bring nature into their lives and show how that can help keep them mentally healthy. We're also now running groups and producing one-off events, doing things like storytelling and bird watching, just to try and help people keep nature in their lives. I'd also be really keen to find out what you've been doing, what the community's been doing to experience nature during this time. What green spaces have you visited? What natural solutions have you found? What natural experiences have helped you? I'd love to know that kind of thing.
Hi there, I'm Grant. You've caught me in the middle of my lockdown hour, which is where we've been trying to go out and see which wildlife is all about Cumbernauld. If you just look behind me, you'll see there's a wee badger there hunting for bugs and grubs. But what we've also been doing is we've been keeping in contact with our volunteer groups, making sure everyone's okay, hosting online sessions. We've also been sending out hundreds of activity packs to the local community to help everyone through this difficult time. Hope everyone stays safe. Cheerio.
So thank you again to Cumbernauld Living Landscape taking us through what they are doing in lockdown, and get out into that 50% green space, go adventuring, go and discover and enjoy what we have as richness in our community. Okay, I'm going to finish with another song. If you've enjoyed what you have heard in my own original songs, join me on a Wednesday night on Elaine Lennon Music over on my Facebook page. I go live every Wednesday. There's a lovely music community. They all like and share the comments and really just enjoy the music and listen to the stories behind each of the songs. I've also started inviting other guests on. So come over on a Wednesday night and join me. It's called the Homebird Sessions, and it would be great to see you. So I'm going to finish with a musical hug for you. I hope that everybody has somebody by their side at this time. And I don't mean only physically, I mean at the other end of the phone. I mean a wave out of the window. I mean a Thursday when we go out to clap for our key workers in NHS. Just keeping an eye on each other and keeping ourselves as a community connected and safe is so important. So my wish for you tonight is, and my parting wish is that you have somebody by your side. And this song is called By Your Side. When you see a smile reflected on another's face, when you lose the battle but win the war with honor and grace, when you find the strength you need it inside. Know that I am here by your side. But when you can't count the stars for the clouds in your sky, if they try to clip your wings like they don't want you to fly, when it feels like your boat washed away with the tide, be strong, I'm here by your side. When you finally see the woods beyond those trees, when the puzzle pieces start to fall in place with ease, or when you let go and just enjoy the ride, know that I am here by your side. But when you can't count the stars for the clouds in your sky, if they try to clip your wings like they don't want you to fly, when it feels like your boat washed away with the tide, be strong, I'm here by your side. No, you're not alone. This too shall pass through good and bad. You're not on your own. When you can't count the stars for the clouds in your sky, if they try to clip your wings like they don't want you to fly, when it feels like your boat washed away with the tide, be strong, I'm here by your side. For a love like mine will never die. That was called By Your Side, and that is my parting wish for you as a Cumbernauld fellow community member. I hope you have enjoyed watching and listening to the amazing guests tonight as much as I have enjoyed participating in this. Massive thanks go out to Maureen Hasquette, the mastermind behind all of this, and also to Matt Kennedy from Automatum, who's been speaking into my ears every now and again, and who has managed to pull everyone together from, he's down in London based, and we've been working all week on making this as flawless for you as we possibly can. And also Toby, and sound engineer, for making me sound good on the keys. And sorry, 2 seconds, because Matt Kennedy is actually talking to me and saying that Toby is coming from another part of London. So big shout out to you. And of course, our marvellous guests tonight, Nicole, Sharon and Angela, thank you for being part of this, and all the other people who were involved in all of those amazing documentaries too. Sanctuary, who are committed to supporting a positive social dialogue, are also the people who are backing this, and it's amazing. Thank you so much to them, and also to the Cora Foundation, who have been supporting local organisations in their social endeavours, and this is one of those, so thank you very much. And also to all of those care workers that are out there doing their bit for our community. We haven't had everybody, we can't possibly have every single one of you on these shows, but we see you and we know you are there, and we appreciate the roles that you are personally putting in, the efforts that you are doing in our community to help us stay safe, stay connected and motivate each other through these really trying times. I hope you have enjoyed this show tonight. And yeah, all that has to be said is stay well, stay safe. We hope to see you again in future. And come say hi if you see me in Tesco waiting in the queue to get in. Please come and say hello and let me know how much you have enjoyed the show tonight. Thank you and good evening.